Well, good morning and welcome to our devotion time. We're continuing Genesis chapter 6, verses 11 and 12, and we're looking at the different phrases. Last week we looked at the earth being called corrupt, and this week we're going to look at the earth being called filled with violence. And I'll remind us of Genesis 6, verses 11 and 12. The earth was corrupt before God, the earth was filled with violence. God saw the earth and saw that it was corrupt. All flesh was perverted its way on the earth. And so that's the passage we're looking at, and I'm taking a look in detail at the different phrases here. And again, it is filled with violence. And I'm going to go ahead and share the Hebrew word there, hopefully the English or Hebrew to English Strong's Concordance number. So if you have one of those books, you can look it up for yourself as well. So in this second phrase here that the Bible is sharing with us of how God sees the earth in the days of Noah, we are hearing this word is filled with violence. And the word violence, tamale, is the first word, and Hamas is the second word. And tamale is filled, and Hamas means violence here. And looking at Hamas, its Strong's word is 2,555. And so in the Hebrew section of the Strong's Concordance book, you'll find this word Hamas. And it's very similar to the Arabic word Hamas. And I think we've heard that word as well. And that is taken from the most violent arm of the Palestinian Liberation Organization in their terrorist activities. And so you could see why these two words would be so akin to one another, and this idea of violent. And so we have this idea of violence in this word, but not only just violence, there's the idea of cruelty, of oppression, and injustice. And so the word in our English translates it quite well, but it just doesn't give it the depth that we have here in our Bible dictionary, our Strong's Concordance. So it is violence, but it has to do more of violence, of cruelty, of oppression, of injustice. And tamale is the filled part of our phrase here. And it has a Strong's Concordance number as well, and it's 4,390. Again, over in the Hebrew section of the Strong's Concordance, you'll find this word. And the word means filled, as in filled to the brim, filled to the maximum. And so we see this word also in Genesis 1:22, where God is creating the seas, and it says he filled the seas with the proliferation of life, of fish and sea creatures. And so that's kind of the idea that we get in to be filled. It's filled to the full, it's filled to the brim. And so what we have before us in this small phrase is that God has turned in this 10th generation, looked at this world. He had called creation good, and now 10 generations later, he says that it's filled with violence. What he's saying is that the world could not get any more cruel. The world could not contain any more oppression. The world could not bear any more injustice. And that's something that had been done to the world in just 10 generations. And this is what humanity does apart from God. And that's just an ugly thing to look at. And we see a lot of the ideas of this word filled with violence in our time as well. And we wonder, I wonder, can the world be any more cruel, more oppressive, more unjust? And Jesus reminded us that as he returns, the signs that we're to look for are the days of Lot and Noah. And I think we're getting pretty close to that. But I'm not speaking this to cause us to go into fear, but this is to go into prayer and begin to pray for our neighbors, our friends, our nation, that we could repent and turn our face towards God once again. And who knows, he may have mercy on us. Well, you have a blessed week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.